Welcome to the Scientific Investor channel. Crypto assets having a positive momentum in last 24 hours. We can see some coins have around 5% of positive momentum, some has 10 and others 13. Like when we consider the top 10, like Bitcoin Cash moved around 13% to the upside, and Bitcoin SV 10%. Bitcoin is 5%, Ethereum 5, and Ripple 2.8%. So when we look at the chart, we can see that the pattern which we were discussing in our last video has been playing around. Now we'll actually go through that once we complete our fundamentals. Now, following this pattern, as we discussed in the last video, we can see that there's a plethora of positive news reinforcing the fundamentals of this asset is actually coming out day by day, hour by hour. There's a lot of positive news, like say this one showing SAP and XRP, their integration, the other one showing XRP exceeding the transaction of Ether, the another one showing that even though the escrow was released, now it's locked back up. So that's actually a positive momentum, like it reduces the inflation considering all of the coins. Now this one from CNBC International, that there is a possible recession coming up, and that could actually show have a negative impact on the entire economy, but that can be maybe a positive effect. Now that's my speculation, positive effect for the crypto community. The crypto coins may pump up from there. Now this is showing the previous price, history. It doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. So there is a possibility that we may be somewhere here and something can happen soon. So then we'll actually go through some other tweets showing interesting perspectives considering what we have achieved, the strong fundamentals of the company Ripple, and by that for XRP. Then we'll actually look at a safe haven asset, say gold. Gold is a safe haven asset for the traditional financial industry, and we can see some patterns forming in the chart. Say this is a long-term chart for gold. Now this is gold against the USD, and in this particular item you can see that it formed a pattern here, say falling wedge, then it bounced to the upside. Now it's again forming the same item and it went to the upside. We actually called this breakout previously in our trading group. So this is my trading platform. I do trading I do trade gold in one of trading platform named as eToro. I actually do that in there. I actually put this chart around 1 month back. We told that there is something forming here which is kind of similar to this area. This is a weekly chart and this is the daily one. So now I have actually laid that down here. You can see that this was being played out at that time. And the breakout from here to the upside here was 21%. If you guys want to see that, this is the measured move here, which was 21%. So if we expect a 21% rise from here, that should be too much. But currently the take profit one is actually already achieved. Say the previous top, we already hit 1550. Now the second one will be around here. That's 1625, 1620, which is the previous support area in this area. So that will hopefully act as a resistance in this area. So that should be a good take profit for traditional investors. Now, yes, I'm not fully invested in gold and all. There's only a small area of my portfolio allocated to gold, because yes, I do also consider that as a safe haven asset, but not like the digital assets which will be for next 10-20 years. But the reason I'm highlighting gold in this video is I personally think that if you guys actually check out gold's chart in a monthly time frame, what you can see is something is repeating. Like say if you look at this particular pattern here and zoom in on this particular pattern, say in a daily, you can see that the same is actually happening here. So if that's to repeat, then the price is gonna double from the previous high. So the previous high is around 2000. So being precise, say 1928. So if it's getting double, it'll be somewhere near 4000. So that's gonna be huge. If your leverage, say into 2 into 5, I don't prefer more than that. So even if it's into 2, that's good, right? Comparing the bank and the interest rates you get, it's cool. Now we actually will cover through all of this, but before that As this is a new channel, I need support from my fellow community members. If you guys like the content I provide on a regular basis, please do support the channel, hit the subscribe button and like the video. Like one of my video reached around 80 likes and I wish I had at least around 100 likes for at least one of my video. Yeah, this is a new channel, so in this stage 100 likes is really mind-blowing for me. So please help you guys, if possible, please help me with that. Now again, if you guys like the content I provide, please do support the channel. Now this is the first one which we will be covering. This is from Crypto Wolf, showing that it makes more sense for Ripple to hold XRP to hedge against price volatility until the trend analysis shows its stable price equilibrium. At this point, Ripple can use the asset on their book to hedge against the future market volatility or to convert that into cash or any other possible item. But what you have to take care here is, say, I completely agree with this perspective. We can say that, if Ripple is kind of considering the previous months, say they were putting down their escrow and giving it to institutions. But now they actually instructed that to the institutions, if you guys want to buy, there is enough liquidity in the markets, you can directly go to an exchange, buy it there. It's cool. So that's pointing like one direction they are holding it, but some area in my mind actually suggests that they're actually working with 50 central banks. So there is a potential possibility that it can be not entirely, but some of the amount can be allocated to central banks. So that's a potential possibility, right? Now the next one is showing SAP is XRP integrated and so many of the gold and silver partners. What about Swift? So this is showing that International SAP Conference for Treasury Management, and they're actually showing the best run SAP and they are actually integrated with XRP. So the fundamentals are getting stronger every day. Now this is actually showing that XRP surpasses Ethereum in daily transaction value. Now that new corridor like Europe has been running a lot recently. Like in one of our previous video, we actually discussed that a new corridor has been shown, but the volume was really low. That was euro, right? But nowadays it's getting pumped. The volume is actually increasing kind of hourly basis. So that's actually cool. Now this one is from Credible Crypto, showing that they released from the entire amount, 900 billion of that released from the escrow has been locked back into escrow, once again making XRP's inflation rate this month less than BTC, ETH, LTC and others. Yet big accounts on CT will continue to push the narrative of Ripple dumping because it gets them engaged. So that's self-explanatory, right? Now there's the next article showing that there is a possible recession which can be caused by unknown shock. An unknown international shock will likely cause the next recession. So they state unknown for us, like the retail traders, but as an insider, maybe they actually know what's gonna cause that. Now this from King Solomon, like XRP All, showing recent research released by Juniper shows that blockchain powered cross-border payment that are anticipated to reach 191 billion by the end of this year, with a valuation of 4.4 trillion by the end of 2024. So see, cross-border payments will be 4.4 trillion by the end of 2024. That's not too far ahead, right? We are in 2020 and it's just 4 years. Now when I look back last 3 years, I've been in the community from last 3 years. Yeah, that's not a long time still. For me, I think the time just flew by. So next 4 years will hopefully go in the same manner. So if a recession risk is happening, then we'll have to see what will be happening to the fintechs. Now that will be, this article is stating that they will be put onto test, but as far as I understand now, based on what we talk in this channel, we actually know that there is a liquidity crisis which is gonna hit soon. Maybe 6 months, maybe 8 months, maybe a year. We don't know the actual timing because that's not important here. No one is have a magic ball to actually predict the precise time, but if you can be prepared, that's gonna be huge, because the nostro accounts are being highlighted even by the Fed as interruption for the banks. They limit their capability and all. They are highlighting that. So that means they're gonna use some kind of a new system which will be allowing them to reduce the usage of nostro accounts. So as we know, on-demand liquidity is something which allows that. Now this from XRP Gator showing the previous pattern. Now you can actually see that, blue one is from 2017 and there is accounts on that, how it acted previously and all. But as far as it is showing you, we are at this point and we should be starting from here. But yes, this is history, right? And as we state here, it's not directly from us, it's said by historians. History rhymes itself, not repeat itself. So the time frame can be different, the percentages can be different, the number of cycles can be different, in a shorter time frame. But I think it's gonna take out more time compared to last one, because there's a lot of new members coming in and the institutions are playing their role. So they will try to kick out the weak hands by lagging the price fluctuation. Now there's a video from Chris Larsen talking about XRP. I'll actually play that for you. Please.
Long run, it's going to be that combination of deep liquidity, market makers, institutional bets being made, but very importantly, it has to have a use case. We think the use case for the XRP ledger and XRP, the digital asset, is really around initially reducing the cost of liquidity for cross-border payments. Long term, though, we think it's a key winner in this race to be another digital asset for the world for all kinds of use cases. So this race to be another digital asset for the world for all kinds of use cases. So be another digital asset for the world for all kinds of use cases.
So that's interesting, right? They are stating, like it's Chris Larsen stating that all kind of use cases. So currently they are focusing on payments, settlements, but in future, all kinds of use cases, because as far as we understand, XRP community members are really strong. We do our background research, we understand the fundamentals and what the future is. Now, yes, it's not 100% sure, it's kind of speculation, but still, based on the research documents we find, we are able to analyze that and try to predetermine what's going to happen. Now, yes, that's not like pulling out a magic bowl and looking at the future, but it's like being prepared based on the probability what's going to happen in the future. Now, there's the next one showing from Joe's SMO, showing we all know that 40 central banks working with Ripple, we all know the following, right? XRP is designed to be a bridge asset. Central banks are working with that. There is no counterparty risk. Then what I think, in his perspective, I think some central bank digital currencies will be issued on XRP ledger itself, now leveling the playing field, right? They will likely be backed up by XRP as well. That's a possibility. Now, central banks will be issuing gateways. XRP is still the bridge asset. So if they want to convert from one fiat to other, they still need a bridge asset. Now, this from Wrath of Kahneman, showing that Ripple customer Caxia Bank implementing the V.Trade platform for trade finance. That's Hyperledger. It is DLT agnostic and built by IBM. Now, you can see that there's a lot of customers of Ripple, like they're actually going in on DLT, blockchain, digital asset in a huge manner. That's going to be a positive news for the entire industry, because when these established, reputed players are going in, jumping in, not just dipping their toes, jumping in, it's going to be good. Now, this is a chart pattern which we talked about yesterday for XRP. As we can see that the price pattern was actually moving within, but at that time the price just broke to the downside. So we were expecting either the price can revisit the lows or this support area can be tested. Now, yes, the support was tested and it found positive for that price, and then it moved back into the trading range. So the price is now trading within this pattern. So unless we move out of this pattern, we should expect to continue within this pattern. And yes, if we do break to the downside, then again this should be a support now. Or if we are actually moving to the upside, then yes, this 0.21, 0.22 will be acting as a resistance for sure. Now yes, that's on a daily that's on a 4-hour time frame, and you can see that the MACD has crossed to the upside. Now when we move on to the 12-hour time frame, we can see that the MACD is bouncing from there. So that's actually a positive news considering the candle. Now if you're looking at the price action, you can see that the price was coming to the downside, but this candle, the green candle, I'll try to zoom in a bit more. This green candle, you can see that it's a shaped green candle showing the bullishness, and then the price went to the upside. Now yes, it will be retesting that particular area before it moves to the upside. Now if you want to look at that, I'll go into a 1-hour chart showing what happened there. You can see that it took 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, say 9 to 10 candles to come down here, but it just took 1, 2, 3, 4 candles to move to the upside. So that's showing the underlying strength. You know, the buyers are there. Whenever the price is dipping, it's buy on dips. Whereas I saw some tweet yesterday, just sell on rise. Whenever the price goes up, sell it. I don't believe that's gonna happen or that's gonna be successful for XRP at this stage, because if you look at XRP on a daily time frame, you can see that the market is kind of bottoming out. So if you look at the history, you can understand what's happening. Like we have previously discussed this 2-3 times. I won't repeat it entirely. I'll just try to showcase where we are in the same. We have a same pattern here. So within that pattern, we can see that we are bouncing here. So that's somewhere here. Yes, that's something similar to that of XRP Gator. But you know, we don't directly believe that this is gonna repeat itself. There may be similarities, but the time frame taken for the same price action will be different. So we should be patient enough to wait for that. Now looking at XRP BTC, we can see that the price is kind of making a new pattern. So in this particular pattern, what you have to see is the bottom is already in, kind of. It came back testing this area. Now if it is bouncing from there, that's actually a good news. But we have a lot of overhead resistance in this particular area. If you draw your line, you can see that it was acting as a previous support in this area. Now that is acting as a resistance. So unless we break above this resistance, we won't be able to reach the next higher price levels. So guys, that's all for today. And again, I would like to request you guys, if you guys like the content I provide on a regular basis, mostly on a daily basis, please do support the channel, do subscribe, hit that like button. I really like to get 100 likes for this video, and I request your help for that. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.